Welcome to episode 4 of the Rundown, your favorite speedrunning show on the internet. My name is ALTInsider here with my co-host Cheese. How you feeling, Cheese?
I'm great, man. I'm ready to go.
Sweet. We got a lot of topics here to talk about, so let's get right to it. The first one on the docket is, of course, the event coming up, before you know it, PACE, GSA's first live event, and it has over 100 attendees confirmed, and a little bit more hype than that, I'd say, than the attendees are sweet commentators. One known as Orca from ESPN, the television show, the television sports network. Orca is coming in with his man, Figure 8, in the house as well. That's going to be pretty hype. What are your thoughts on that, Cheesy?
Well, my personal good friend, Figure 8, I've seen him in like the past, I don't know, 3-4 years at GDQ. He's always been, he's a photographer now. He does like work at GDQ. And I had no idea that he knew Orca. When I first saw the announcement of like Figure 8 coming in with Orca, I was like the Figure 8? Like, what is this? This is so weird. And I found out that they're actually friends and they work together, and it's great because Figure 8 is like, you ask anybody that goes to GDQs, he's like the most energetic guy. He's friends with everybody. So like, I can't wait to see what they're going to do at PACE. And it's just so exciting, you know, like who would have thought that ESPN, would be even, finding out about PACE in the first place, far less actually coming and attending and checking it out. So like, I'm super stoked, and we're only 2 weeks away. So
yeah. I mean, it's going to become very soon. After this episode airs, it's going to be very soon before it comes. I guess not to be the contrarian, I think it's awesome you got a big name ESPN guy that's going to come here. The only thing you got to worry about is his knowledge, right? I mean, how much is he going to know about stuff? And we guess we'll find that out. I mean, hopefully he wouldn't sign on with this without doing some research and stuff. So hopefully he's going to be great. But I said that would be my only question is, hey, it takes knowledge to announce stuff, right? And you got to know about video games. It's not like, a more mainstream thing. So we'll see, Orca. I'm hyped for you to be there. We'll hopefully he pulls it out, right? Other news, right? You got something you want to tell us about that happened during a race last week and the GSA tournaments. Go for it, Cheese.
Okay, so everyone knows about the infamous sub-1 grind in Super Mario Odyssey for literally all of 2019 and even some of 2018. It's been like the most hyped thing in speedrunning for a while. And of course, everyone knows it happened about a month ago. I think it was less than a month ago when Nicro got the first sub-1. And I was like, oh my god, it's still insane. Like, the world record is a 59:58 by Chaos Pringle now. So it was actually beaten. Nicro got beaten already. And lo and behold, not even a week ago, a race in GSA live, Lil Curbs gets a sub-1 in a race in the playoffs. Like, it's the most insane thing I've seen in I think in GSA so far. And of course, there's a PB as well. So he's now the fourth person to get sub-1. Because a lot of you might not know yet, but a player called Goruya, please don't hate me. His name is old. Goruya, he got sub-1 as well. I think it was the second person. And then Chaos got it, and then Lil Curbs got it. It's insane. Like, sub-1 everywhere. Like, these players are in it to win it, obviously.
Yeah. And we're going to talk to Nicro here in a second later on the show. But yeah. That's what I would ask Nicro, too. I'll ask you, too. Are these rapid succession of ones because people get extra motivation, or was there some kind of strat learned? Like, because it just happened so fast after Nicro worked very hard to get to sub-1, but now it's just like not everyone. 4 people are doing it, but still more than 0, right?
I mean, I think there have been many small things, and just like most Mario games, a lot of small strats that accumulate that end up saving time, but without the hard work of these players, let's be real, without the hard, grind, it wouldn't have nearly reached it as far as it has. So it's thanks to the hard work of the players, most of all. And true. It just so happens that all these top players they're insane. They're working so hard, and they all get the sub-1s like within a month of each other. And now all these players, except for Goruya, who I hope joins the next league, potentially, but Chaos, Nicro, and Curves, for example, they're all in the top 4 for PACE. So that's going to be insane. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah. I guess we'll see how long this Odyssey hypeness can last, right? Because it's been going a while. I don't see there's no end in sight, right? Because I mean, they keep doing hype stuff, keeps happening. So we'll see how long it goes. But next topic I want to get into is something that it's something that's a big topic of the Wing speedrunning community. It always has been since it's come out, and that is the topic of randomizers. And my co-host Cheesy Boy here is known for a game that's known as Super Mario 64. And recently, Mario 64 has entered the fray of randomizers. And yeah, you're spending some time on that. So I want to know, just real quick, good and bad points of randomizer for me is randomizers are fun for players, right? They're also fun for the viewers. You don't know what it's going to do, changes it up, blah blah blah. It's a more random experience for the viewer, right? Bad points.
Yeah.
It takes people like you that maybe don't have the world record but want to have the world record away from that task, right? So what are your thoughts on randomizer? Is it keeping you away? Do your fans they can just forget about you ever getting 70-star record now? What's going on?
It's a good point, and I thought about this as well. If you look at even like all the Zelda games that have randomizers, for example, you could probably say the same thing for a lot of those players too. You know, you'd see like a lot of these top players, they have moved almost strictly to randomizer only now. But I wouldn't say that I'm not gonna go for the world record anymore. That's for sure. Like at least I can't speak for other players, but for me personally, on a personal level, it's like randomizer is something I want to add onto my stream, and that's what I personally want to see it as, something that I could add. And not do instead of like getting world record. You know, I could add it to my stream and create more content instead of like, all right, not doing world records anymore, just randomizer, you know? But again, I can't speak for other players. But Mario randomizer specifically though, I probably should mention, it's still very different to the randomizers that already exist, for example, or at least for the Zelda randomizers, they're a lot different, right? Mario randomizer is a lot faster. First of all, it's a lot more. It feels a lot like bingo, where you have to make quick routing decisions, and again, because of the RNG factor in randomizers, you never know what's going to happen. So it's like it gives that feeling of like like you mentioned, a new experience every time you play the game. And it's a really cool and fun experience for racing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's different every time, and it challenges your skill, and it challenges all sorts of things that you wouldn't get from grinding, PBs all day, every day. So it's like, it's a good breather from time to time to take. And I think that's why randomizers are so attractive to top players as well, because it's like it's a break.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, so it sounds like you're just taking it as a break. It's not a thing you're going to do forever. The thing I think about randomizer that's good is it is ideal for races because, if you're watching a normal race in speedrunning, it is like watching two people sprint down a track, right? They're going to do the same thing every single time, and the person that does it fastest wins, right? If you add some other elements into it, it becomes something much different. It's not just run down a track as fast as you can. It's like a what's it called? A scavenger hunt, right? You got to get stuff and then go to the finish line, and you don't know where that stuff is. So that can make it much more entertaining experience. I hope there's more tournaments like this, especially I want GSA to do it too, because speed gaming does it all the time. They like randomizers is their thing, right? So if I want to see what a randomized 64 tournament might look like, right? I think that would be really cool. One other thing to think about though is, so have you noticed, because I know other people have said that it is a phenomenon that does happen, have your viewership, right? How has that been affected by randomizers so far? Because in previous times when Link to the Past came out, people saw a boost in numbers. However, if they did it 3 months, 4 months, they saw a drop in numbers because people aren't, you're not grinding for that record anymore. So what do you think about it? How has it been for you so far? It's still a new thing for you though. So
yeah, I mean, I would say for me personally, it's been around the same, especially in the first few days of randomizer. It's like I would get around the same viewership for when I would grind 70 star, for example. Okay. But like you said, it's that question of like, if the streamers realize that after doing like a month of randomizer, people are starting to get bored. People are like, okay, we've seen the variety now. We want to see you grind for that world record again.
Yeah.
And it's up to the streamer. If they really want to do it, to go back to world records, they'll do it. But if deep down inside they really just want to be like, I love the casual. I wouldn't say casual. I love the change, the different feel of doing randomizers and stuff. And I just want to keep doing this until I get bored, I guess. It's their choice. And, all power to them. And yeah, I'm also excited to see a tournament like, of course, the randomizer needs to be updated. You know, there are lots of versions coming out now because it's brand new, so it needs to be, I guess, orchestrated properly so that glitches and weird things don't happen.
Good pull.
So like, you know, yeah, so that all the stars could be possible, hopefully, and stuff like that. But that's common for randomizers, you know, so it's going to be issues, people are going to fix it. And yeah, who knows, maybe GSA might jump in there and we might have like a tournament going on or something.
There you go. Just the last point. Do you know if the other main was the wrong word to say. You know if the other top runners of Mario 64 are doing randomizer, or have they all embraced it so far, or are some not playing it?
They have actually. I know I saw Punkay doing it for a while. And he's been doing races with like Paracusia and stuff. Simply, I've been doing races with Simply. The last time I raced Simply was literally about 3 years ago. So it's like this is like an excuse to be able to race Simply again, and because, you know, Simply has issues with the sense he can't do like regular run grinding because it's hard on his hands. And Randomizer is more of like because it has that more casual setting. He's able to play for longer, and we could just like have fun with it. So again, it's a different thing that could be brought into speedrunning to make the speedrunning community have more opportunities to do all sorts of stuff.
There you go,
and we talk about this all the time too. You know, this is not news to anybody either, but you know, Mario 64 randomizer, it's been a shock too. Like, I didn't expect a randomizer from Mario 64 at least anytime soon, and I guess I would say just what I thought it would have been if it were to be made. It's exactly kind of like what it came out to be, and it's great so far. So I'm enjoying it. Can't wait to see what happens in the future.
Yep, cool stuff going on there with the randomizer scene. It seems like every game, any game that has any players, they're making a randomizer for it eventually. It just might take a different amount of time to get there. Odyssey's going to have a randomizer someday. Just wait for it, guys. All right, next point to go through is, I think, a huge thing for speedrunning overall. I think this is just we talked about it last show too. Grand Pooh Bear's speedrun sessions. Really, it's something that's never been done before. A live event that happened at a bar, arcade/bar thing, and we weren't sure how it was going to look. The video, it happened last weekend. The VOD is out there. Cheese, what did you think? What you saw?
I think it first, right off the bat, you could tell it was like, it's a very unique event. We've never seen something like this before in speedrunning. It was entertaining. It was, you know, it was high intensity all the way, you know, and it was filled with entertainment. It's filled with energy and filled with beer.
yeah.
Filled with drinks. But again, that's what brought that kind of like casual but very high energy feel, right? But apart from that, I mean, just look at the event, right? Look at the lineup. You take Grand Pooh Bear and you pair him with Spike Vegeta, you're gonna get the most insane duo of all time. Like, this is it can't not be entertaining.
Yeah, I think, and just really how they did it was really cool. It was more like we were wondering what it was going to be like. It seemed like to be like a showcase, more than like a, hey, let's tell you how to do things. It was like a showcase, right? It was like a mini marathon basically with the background of people drinking and the good move they did was cheese. The good move was Pooh Bear was the constant couch presence, right? So he was everything. He was there with a mic, and I would think that was really smart.
He was like the MC, basically.
Yeah, that was really smart because you know, a lot of people go there for Grand Pooh Bear. They might not be sure. A Link to the Past. I don't know what this is. I mean, they know what it is, but I don't know this run. But Pooh Bear's there to kind of talk them through it. That was really cool. I'm going to say some things I think you can improve on. I want to say first that it was 99.9 million% positive and awesome. Okay, but just for things to think about next time that I'm sure they're already thinking about. What I saw, I almost watched almost the whole thing. Spike being there, incredible win, right? Incredible win.
Yeah.
However, his placement was weird, so he was kind of halfway in the crowd. So sometimes people in the crowd would talk to him, and he would be on mic, and they're just asking like mundane questions about stuff, like, you know, how you doing, how you doing, Spike? Well, I'm doing good. But it's on the mic, so it's kind of like that takes it away from it a little bit. That could have been Spike's usage could have been a little bit smoother. Also, I wish they could do a pull-out shot because it was tough to see what was going on. What am I looking at exactly? Like, you see the foot runner and the TV, of course, but then there's that. What's this left bar thing? It just, you didn't know spatially what was going on. Small. That's a small thing for sure. Small a hiccup there, but everything else was awesome. Hopefully they keep it rocking and can make it even bigger because I think it's a really cool thing. And if it's imagine if whole communities can do this too, right? So imagine the Mario 64 tour happens, right? That'd be hype,
Dude,
right?
the Mario Summit, man.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, there you go. Like you could make. There's no limit to where this can go. And and props to Pooh Bear for kind of being the person that's making it happen, right? He says he's the people's speedrunner. He doesn't lie about that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. I would add to that too, though, or as well, with like people asking Spike random questions and stuff. I mean, you could tell right off the bat too that apart from just having general guidelines of like, all right, Spike, you're gonna probably be doing this. I'm gonna be taking this role. Most of it was not scripted. Like there was no, it was not like, GDQs are planned out. Everything is a schedule. Everything is this, and because it's a marathon event, right? But this is like literally, it was like Grand Pooh Bear having a stream at home, except at a bar with 40 people watching. That's what it felt like. And that's Pooh Bear's sanctuary. That's where he shines, and Spike as well. They probably didn't expect people to be talking to Spike so much. And maybe that's why it kind of got that kind of like awkward feel at times. But it was you could tell that a lot of it was not scripted. It was just like free for all. But I think that is what people liked as well, is that it's not this like professional feel. It was, or not professional, not the good word, but robotic kind of like scheduled event. It's more of like, this is totally 100% chill. We're going to talk about anything we want. We're going to have fun and show speed games to people that, might not know what the hell they're even looking at. And I would add too that I think the length of the event was very smart. I think a 4-hour time slot is like, at least for me when I was watching it, it was like, it was not too short for me to feel like I was, wanting more. And it wasn't too long to feel like, okay, I've had enough. Let's watch something else. I think it was really smart how the length that they had it for. It was about 4 hours or so, right?
Yeah.
I think that was perfect. And again, great job on them. I can't wait to see what else they could do.
We should say shout outs to Oats and Goats and Andy as well. We haven't mentioned them too.
Yeah.
They did awesome too. So
everyone
really
awesome runs.
Blah blah. Best awesome thing. Please keep it going, guys. Keep going. Next topic we want to talk about is something that has to do with my man Cheese here. You are going somewhere very shortly. What are you doing in the next month? You got a lot of traveling to do next month, right?
Well, in the next month and 2 months to come. Yeah, me personally, I'm going this Friday, 2 days from now. Well, when the show airs, it would be 3 days before.
Just forget about it. Someday.
On Friday the 12th, I will be going to TwitchCon Europe, and ESA, of course, is going to be part. And we mentioned that in before. ESA is basically going to do what GDQ did. GDQ was part of TwitchCon last year. ESA is going to be part of TwitchCon Europe this year, and they're having marathon, basically like runs at TwitchCon, and I'm going to be performing a run. I'm going to be doing a 7-star run, and there's going to be lots of other runners there. And well, first of all, I've never been to anywhere in Europe apart from Spain. Feel bad even saying that. I've been to Denmark, but that was but it's gonna be my first time in Germany and TwitchCon Europe. I went to TwitchCon US TwitchCon last year, so I'm interested to see what Europe TwitchCon is like. And I can't wait. Again, it's more opportunities for speedrunning to get into the center of Twitch, and it's only a good thing,
How about, I want to know, since you could commentate yourself. I know you can. You've done it before in a marathon. Have you thought about what's your couch layout and stuff? Do you know about that? Who's going to be in your couch with you, or you thought about that?
Yeah. Wilco. Wilco's a Mario runner. He used to be a Super Mario Sunshine runner. He's from Germany as well, so he's right. It's in his hometown, or home country at least. He's going to be commentating my run. It's just me and him.
Okay.
I like this too. I like it's going to be a different feel to GDQ as well, right? It's a smaller space, or it will be a smaller space. And because it's a smaller space and probably a smaller couch, it's going to be the first time I'm ever going to do a run with only one commentator. Every run I've ever done at marathons, it's been like 5 people sitting behind me, all trying to talk at the same time. So I'm interested to see what this feels like, but just one person talking. I'll probably try to do a lot of the talking as well myself to make it more interactive and just have fun with it instead of trying to play perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That goes into my last question. I was going to say, what are the odds? You have to put it. First, I want to know, Are you going to go for it? Are you going to go for the record live? How epic would that be, my friend? If you take back 70 star at TwitchCon 2019, can you make it happen for us? What's the percentage chance that happens in your mind right now?
110%.
There you go, guys. It's guaranteed now.
The only thing I can say to this is that 70 Star doesn't have that much RNG, at least, to be like, oh well, the RNG is bad. It's very unlikely I'll get world record. It's pretty much like if I perform amazing, it's a very high chance.
There you go. You heard it, high chance.
That's all I'll say.
All right, guys, stay tuned for that. Go ahead.
If I perform well is like the biggest if in existence.
That's the problem. There you go, guys. So there you go. That's our news breakdown for this week. Coming up next is our man and your man and Jesus' man, Simp, with the GSA League updates. Take it away, Simp.
What's up, everybody? It's Simply, and we are here for a little rundown of how the leagues have been doing, how they've finished up, and here we go. Starting off with the Super Mario Odyssey League, which will be finishing off here at Pace in just a week now. Very excited. Going to be a lot of fun. NicroVeda takes down Dansta, very clean, 2-0 and 2-0s in each of the matches, or in each of the games. The terminology can get a little confusing. Stravos takes a 2-1 over Susaiga. Pretty close, although all of the matches were 2-0 situations. Chaos Pringle takes Fur down, and Lil Curbs takes Equan down. So it's going to be NicroVeda, Stravos, 96, Chaos Pringle, and Lil Curbs, 14, competing at Pace. Next up, in the Celeste League, TGH takes down Moose with a very clean 2-0. Masushi taking out Malay. So many 2-0s, my goodness. Well, 4-0s, if you want to be even more technical. Masushi coming home, taking out Malay. Flad taking out Black Pear, and Chai Kitty taking out Psyched, leaving these four beautiful men to come compete in Pace. Up next, 70 Star League Division 1, Punkay takes down Blue Esports Rock Chalk 19. Toast Rider takes down Cheese of Counter Logic Gaming. Just kidding, that's very wrong. Cheese takes out Toast Rider, 2-0, clean victory. Do Whatever takes out Benji, 2-0, and Ouija takes out Viro. We have Ouija, Do Whatever, Cheese, and Punkay competing at Pace. So that's it for the leagues competing at Pace. Going to be a very exciting time. Very honored to be able to go and commentate some of these matches. Going to be a lot of fun. 70 Star League Division 2. We've got the top 8 settled in, and playoffs are just now starting this week. Momo, Tabascoff, JJ, Protoman, Drogi, Cartoon Buffoon, Kopitz, and Pete are all going head-to-head, facing off to figure out who will make it to the top 4 position. Mario Kart Double Dash Time Trials as well, settling down to a top 8. We've got Goomba, of course, at the top. Emo right behind him, Lothjohn, Baseball Kid, Ultimark, Mega Matt, Outer Halo, and Jayhawk. Coming in hot. And, of course, we cannot forget about Super Mario 64, 16-star Aki. Very cleanly, 10 points ahead of Ouija, sitting in first place for the league. Ouija right behind, and then D Whatever, Anti, Paracusia, Benny, and Cheese. And Benny and Paracusia tying for points. Cheese and Rock Chalk chilling at 7th and 8th, and honestly not too far off. Guy and I very close to making it in the top 8 for the playoffs. And that concludes the league standings, the rundown. Hope you enjoy it. Up next is Pace. It's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be game-changing. The book is being rewritten. Competitive speedrunning taken to the next level. So excited. Hope to see you guys tuning in then, and have a wonderful day or a wonderful night. Bye.
Alright guys, there you go. The Simply update for the past 2 weeks. But most importantly, the top 4 for Pace has been chosen, as you could see. And I'm so excited. I can't imagine better top 4s. Myself included. Getting nervous, more and more nervous as the days go by. and we have a little treat for you guys. We have one of the guys that are in the top 4 of Super Mario Odyssey. We have him here today, and there he is, NicroVeda, the man, the myth, and the legend of Odyssey right now. The first guy to get sub 1 hour in any percent. What do you have to tell me about this guy?
Well, it's cool to watch that whole run to sub hour because you could see how it was important for a lot of people. It's kind of weird to read how like one number becomes this big thing because it doesn't really mean anything really, right? It's still like whoever got the world record has a world record, but it obviously becomes something, becomes a big deal, and he fought for it hard and he got there. So, and then as we talk about the interview, you'll see. I don't want to spoil too much, but soon after he got it, less than 24 hours after he got the sub hour, it got bopped. So someone did it better than him. So we talk about all that stuff. Nicro's awesome dude and awesome speedrunner. So stay tuned. Enjoy our interview with the man, NicroVeda.
Can't wait.
The one, the only NicroVeda in the house. The first man ever to get sub 1 in Super Mario Odyssey. Any percent. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm doing great, man.
It is definitely nice to talk to you today. And you are running definitely one of the hottest games in speedrunning right now. And you were the first person to have the world record, and you had it for a long time. So what kind of was about Odyssey that draw you to it in the very beginning? What made you pick up this game as opposed to the other games you were playing before that?
Well, I started speedrunning in March 2017. I picked up SM64 on emulator, and it was just like, I don't know, because I was watching Cheese and stuff at the time, and it was just cool. So Odyssey trailers, I think, dropped around the same time, like right as I actually tried speedrunning myself, and I'm like, well, that's gonna be the new hot speed game, so like, why not just kind of keep that in the back of my mind? Maybe I'll hop on that when it's hot and see how that goes, because like, I'm definitely a big fan of competition, so that's kind of how I got into it. The trailers showed off some like pretty similar movement to 64, so like I was pretty much instantly intrigued with that. So yeah, then I just kind of hopped right on it, played my casual playthrough, and we just got zooming.
So you enjoyed the game like right off the bat. When you first played like your first playthrough, like you said, you were like, yeah, this game is awesome. I want to start speedrunning.
I like could not like I don't think I probably pulled like 2 all-nighters playing like my first Odyssey playthrough. It was sick. I just knew like right off the hop, like the first time you like, whenever a new big game comes out, whether it's like a Smash game or a new like big Mario game, the first thing you want to feel are the controls. And as soon as you just move Mario around, and I can just feel it. I was like, okay, like we're going in, boys.
That's the feeling. Yep, I know it all too well. Okay, so yeah, you played Odyssey, you started speedrunning, you were one of those first people to really grind the game hardcore, and you got really good really fast, and you were the man in Odyssey. And of course, recently, there's been the sub 1 talk, and of course you were the first one to do it. Tell us about that journey, about sub 1, what it felt like.
Yeah, I know, it felt amazing, because it's like, I never truly felt like I've been good at many things, and I've like, I don't know, I guess I've always been known to be like good at stuff, but I never really truly felt what it was like to be like a true like champion. So I felt like the whole sub 1 journey like was that. It kind of just felt like I don't really know how to describe it. I guess just because I had like leading up to it, like I had so many records like going into it where it was like I feel like I was like the guy or something because I had so many records, so I felt like I had to finish what I kind of started. So it just felt like without, like the sub 1 was just the most important thing. Like if I had to like end the legacy or like, leading up to that point, it just felt like the big thing. And of course it was like super hyped, and yeah, dude, just like definitely like happy that it happened.
After that happens, you can see it was roughly something you were going for a long time. If you check out NicroVeda on Twitter, you can see he was going out for a long time. It was something you really wanted. And then when it happens, not too long after that, someone else does it just a little bit faster,
What a world we live in.
Yeah, I know. So what did that feel like? Talk us through that. I mean, that must have been shocking to say the least, right?
Well, as the grind was going on, it was like me, Chaos, Curbs, Goryuya, like anybody could have got it like any day. Well, because Curbs curbs hit the one flat, and then it all kind of lit a fire under all of our butts, and we're like, oh damn, it's on, boys. So yeah, that was like probably the most stressful like month of my entire life. But yeah, like I don't know, it's weird because yeah, like Goryuya got it the night, not even 24 hours after me or something. And it kind of felt weird because like he still didn't like beat my run. Like I still was better by like 0.5 or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, that's cool, that's cute, but you know, like
I got it first.
yeah, like at that point I was like, dude, I knew, because as soon as I got it, because again, around that time when I did get it, it could have happened any day, and it could have been beaten any day. So I woke up the next morning, I saw that, and I was like, of course, like it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the main contenders all got it, and just recently Curves got in a race, which is like, what the hell, man? I mean, he was overdue, of course. Like when he first got the one flat, like that could have been it. Like it could have just been done then, but that it still went on for about a month, which definitely like built more hype up, and there was it just really felt like the end, I guess. I don't know.
The end and a start of a new beginning, possibly.
Yeah, for sure.
So how much is that?
Okay, great.
Sorry, you guys use.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know it's not on the list here, but I want to know, like, how much is that? How much is world record? What's more important for you right now? Right? Is the world record something that you want to go for with the same fervor as you did the sub 1, or now you kind of, well, I was the first one to get sub 1. I don't know the world record now, but it's not like something you're actively, hey, I gotta have this.
Well, yeah, because again, leading up to sub 1, I've had so many records, so that's why I felt like, kind of like I said about sub 1, felt like the cap on it all, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Leading up to it, it really wasn't about world record for me anymore. It was truly about like the race to sub 1. So it's almost like, because again, we all could have got it anytime, and it's again, sub hour is not a perfect run. I mean, no run is ever perfect, but like it's still definitely beatable. I definitely feel like I should have got like a mid 5x, be a little bit safe, but like yeah, I'm sure the other boys are still going. It can be brought down like a decent amount. I think like the god run or something right now would be like maybe like a high 4x or something. But yeah, it's as for me, I got what I wanted. So I'll still run 80%. I'm probably not gonna like have the same like drive like right now as I did before,
of course,
because of sub 1. But you know, if there's something new with the category, or again, maybe I'll just get this urge to play it again. I mean, I'm definitely down. I'm just kind of like, I guess you could say like semi-retired the category for a bit, because I'm definitely focusing on a few other things.
Yeah, naturally. So yeah. I kind of want to get more into like the personal side of things, Monka S. But, no, but like you mentioned, right? So like about a month or two of this race to sub 1, and you mentioned that it was like one of the most stressful parts of your life, right? Now, I know exactly what that feel is like, right? I've done the same thing, so like I want to know about the journey in that time when you were trying to get sub 1. You know, did you catch yourself struggling at times mentally, feeling sometimes very emotional, and you felt like you couldn't do runs today, it was too stressful, you need to take a break? Like what was going through your mind during that time?
Yeah, there was probably plenty of that. Like so when we first I feel like the day we were all kind of like, okay, like it's possible, like when we were going for, I think it was like I got like a 1:00:11 or something, and I'm like, and we're like, okay, like what's 12 more seconds, you know, like we can definitely like get this down. And like around the time too, that was when there's like a new seaside trick. It was like it's a clip, it saved like 5 seconds, so we're like, okay, this is like hard, it's like really hard, but it's like really possible too, like we can definitely do it. And this was I think early February maybe. So again, and this at this point I was like, okay, this is like the true grind starts now, because like we kind of like just after seeing that run, because some runs you kind of just have to like see it and you're like, okay, if like if that just happened, like sub 1 like will happen.
Yeah.
So that's when the true grind really like felt like it started. So I felt like I had, because it's not like somebody just got like an insane time like right away, like, oh, here's like a 1 flat like 2 months before the sub 1 actually happens, and then it's like I'm just like scared for my life. It's like I felt like I had like time to do it, so I still, once the 10011 happened, I was just I was like, okay, I'm gonna play every day, like we're gonna like really take it seriously. That's when I started streaming like probably like double the times amount that
I noticed.
Because dude, like I just really felt like I wanted it the most, and whoever got it, I feel like is just who wanted it the most, because yeah, like I don't think I grinded harder for anything in that period of time. Like I was playing Odyssey like a ton still, like prior to that, but yeah, I was really just getting up, focusing on the game. Like I definitely sacrificed a lot. Like, you know, when I get up in the morning, I'll go to the gym, I'll do like few like life things, but I was really trying to like find all the time I could to play the game. I wasn't hanging out with like any friends. That's why like just last Wednesday I actually had my sub 1 celebration dinner with all the boys, dude. It was lit.
That's cool.
I didn't see all of them for like ever. I like felt like I was away. Took this like long like trip just to get sub 1, dude. Like 2 months of this like fat grind.
Yep.
So it was like, yeah, it was definitely stressful, because again, the sacrifices and just the fact that I never really tasted like true victory. And to me, that's what that was. Although, yeah, I had records before, but it almost like didn't matter in the moment. It just really felt like, okay, the sub 1 is like it.
It's really interesting.
So
about,
I don't know. I definitely faced a lot of like I wasn't eating well either, because like I was super like anxious about, like I would go to sleep like just thinking like I just want to do runs, or like
wow.
I hope that like I don't wake up and I lose it type shit. Like,
yeah,
you know, it was kind of, so it was definitely just a lot of anxiety. I mean, I'm sure everybody was thinking it too. Like we all wanted it pretty bad, so we probably had this kind of like, I feel like we all had some kind of like, maybe not mental block, but just this like, just the stress of it all, and just because we knew how difficult it really was.
Yeah.
Like every time we'd get closer on pace, like it just got like scarier and scarier. So yeah, just again, just a lot of sacrifices and just constant like anxiety about it for like a good month or two, like when it was like the true grind.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that was rough. So like and I did that every day. Like I said, I didn't take a day off really since.
Yeah, it's just, you can see how much it takes to get a top level record is not easy. I hope this shows people that, I mean, it's no joke when you get a top record in these hypest games there is, you know, the top level. Before you get to, before we're going to change topics about the sub 1 eventually, but last question about it for me is, there is definitely something to say. You're a full-time streamer now. Your income revolves around people watching your stream. No debate there. There is something to be said about the hype is in the chase, not when you get there, right? So there is definitely there's hype about getting something, but then when it happens, there's kind of a letdown. There can be. Is that something you even? It sounded like you were so driven it wouldn't even enter your mind. But did it enter your mind? Do you think about that? About what you're going to do next? What's your next thing you're going to chase?
Oh yeah, I think about. I think a ton about that actually. Like whenever something, it's like, well. Because again, in the moment, I'm so about it, and I'm so like I'm grinding it. But it's like, well, yeah. Once it's over, it's like, will it be the same? That's why it's kind of like once the 1 flat happened, it actually took a month for a sub hour to happen. So like the build up was like there for sure. And I because again that opened people's eyes, and they're like, okay, like literally any day now. So, like, it took about a month. So like I don't know, the hype was definitely there. It built up. I mean, people were waiting for it. Because I remember like people didn't even really, a lot of people that kind of like weren't following Odyssey too much, they kind of saw that the times were getting really low, like really fast, because we never like, all the runners never went as hard as they did in the last like month. So they really noticed it, the work being put in. It's like, yeah, it's gonna happen. So but yeah, like I don't know, after it all, yeah, I don't know, it's almost like a bittersweet thing, but it's definitely like, I mean, you know, I can I'll never have that taken away from me, I guess, you know, having the sub 1. So like it was all worth it, and like I'm definitely willing to like put that grind into like other things if I put my mind to it, or if some other opportunity comes up.
Cool.
All right, so yeah, about Pace. Pace is coming up in 2 weeks, and well, it's the first. I would imagine it's the first time that you are competing, live in a live setting against people next to you with a crowd watching. So, what are your thoughts going into that?
Ooh.
It's not. Well, at least with speedrunning, or am I still wrong?
So I've played Smash.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I was never like a pro like Smash player or anything, but I've definitely played. I've been at nationals. I've been at again, from about 20, I don't know, I'd say 2014 to 17. That's when I was really going to stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely used to that setting. I've been in front of like a good amount of people. Again, I have the GDQ experiences. But yeah, other than that, like, I don't know, for speedrunning itself in front of a crowd, like, it's definitely kind of more sketchy just because, like, I don't know, there's just more on the line for it. Because when you're, I don't know, I guess when you're at GDQ, it's more about, like, oh, like, you know, people don't really know what's happening, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of just,
Let's
like,
have fun.
doing my thing, and it's like,
Yeah, let's have fun. Yeah. Kind of.
yeah, and you just kind of like laugh off stuff, but I mean, yeah, no, it pays serious. But yeah, I'm no stranger to competition and crowds and all that kind of stuff. So like maybe, who knows? Maybe I even have some like kind of advantage in that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It is definitely different from like something like Smash in its own ways. But yeah,
That's what I hope.
First.
I hope you said you hit on something really important. I hope Pace. That's one thing I hope about Pace is they can show that difference. You guys can show the difference of we're not doing this for fun. We're not doing this to try to get money for charity. That's a great thing too.
Yeah.
It's for people trying to win a game, and it's serious, right? That's what I hope Pace can. I hope Pace can show that to the speedrunning world. It's
Yeah,
different
I definitely
than
think
GDQ, right?
speedrunning like needs that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm just needs that difference of this is the drive to play the game as fast as you can and beat the other people you're playing with, right? I mean, it's all a community thing, but you want to be the best at that thing. That's what I think we want. I hope Pace can show that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like competitions, like when it comes to like Smash, it's like a lot of people like you can watch a GDQ and be inspired to like want to speedrun, but I feel like a lot of true inspiration comes from like when people are like winning and they're like, you know, when it comes down to the competition and it gets heated and people start like picking favorites or whatever. It's I don't know. It's definitely a different. I feel like once speedrunning, like again, if things like Pace like happen more often and that's more exposed to like more people, I think it's actually a really solid way to like grow speedrunning, because you know it's people just think, I guess, speedrunning is just kind of something you normally would just do on your own stream, sit in your own room and stuff, but once you kind of bring that into it, and if it becomes like, yeah, I could see it doing like really well, I think. And yeah, people seeing that, and again seeing the victory and just seeing like the amount of like passion and drive that goes into just the competition itself is like something that a lot of people just like might not see, I guess.
Of course, something to add to that is like we've mentioned it a lot before, is the fact that speedrunning can have that alongside other things in the first place. Like, well, Smash basically has that whole competitive feel, right? And what else? Like, Smash does not have that thing where you just sit down and, well, there are people who sit down by themselves and play the game, but what they're doing is practicing for the competition. But speedrunning has that thing where you could sit down, play, and try to beat PBs, try to get world records. And then there's the whole racing thing, competition, you know, tournaments. And then they have other things as well, marathons, randomizers. Like, it's so many different.
Yeah, you wouldn't think just playing like a single player game just from start to finish over and over again can actually like open up so many different like
yeah
paths for not only, again, like competitions, marathons, just streaming in general, or just really anything like mods and stuff. Like, people would be surprised. I mean, it really is kind of like endless to speedrunning. A lot of people kind of think it's just doing the same one thing, but it's actually one of the most like diverse like categories of how to like play a game, probably.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned, we kind of sub theme of this episode we're talking about is randomizer, and you didn't even mention that. That's another way that these games can just be speedrunning can be a whole different thing. So obviously, like you said, you're a Smash player at heart. So what drew you from Smash to speedrunning? Was it what kind of how'd you make that jump?
I don't know. I always like growing. I actually knew about speedrunning before I knew about competitive Smash, but I just like kind of brushed off speedrunning a long time ago, just because the resources just felt like they weren't there, or like it was only really one like prominent prominent runner in like each game or something.
Yeah,
because you had your like Cosmo and your Siglemic and stuff, so it was like that's kind of all you knew, and you just thought, oh, these guys are just kind of like running the show. Like I don't really know how to get into this. Whereas like Smash kind of had more resources, obviously, because it's like 1v1s. You can kind of just like play with friends. It was just more easy to get into. Like even if you
a lot more established too. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's hard. You can't just like turn on the game and just expect to like speedrun. Like it's hard. I mean, you can definitely like try, but yeah, back then it just felt like there was no good resources, or maybe I was just like too young or too dumb to even like know where to find it or something. But yeah, that was quite a while back. So I've always been interested in it, and I was always thought like, wow, how cool would it be to like do that? Because I'm just a big fan of like I don't know, like fast pace stuff that has to do with like a lot of inputs, just like technical stuff, kind of like trick jumping, trick shots type stuff, just like cool little things like that. And anything that I can do to like just make a game like way more exciting and fast. And
360 no scopes.
Hell yeah, dude. That kind of stuff.
Back in the day. Yeah.
So it was like, again, once I got more into Smash, because yeah, like Smash was a lot easier to get into in terms of just the resources and the players and stuff, and the fact that I could just kind of like play with friends. And then that in the time I was getting in more into Melee over the years, that's when speedrunning also was like growing, and resources were getting easier to find. Twitch, like the boom of like Twitch speedrunners kind of came up more. I started, GDQs were growing. It just kind of, and it just really felt like the right time, because again, like speedrunning is always something I had my eyes on. I just never really thought it'd be like something I would actually do. It just didn't seem realistic at the time. I'll just stick to watching these. But yeah, no, definitely something I would want to try, and I'm not surprised like at all it happened, because it kind of goes hand in hand with just the way you kind of approach Smash, with like you do your practice, you and then you go perform. Like tournaments are basically like your runs and stuff, so you kind of like grind that out. It kind of works in the same way, and again, like you're just making the game faster, and the skill ceiling is just kind of like endless, and that's how you're really playing like a good game, when there's just a ton to do and you can always improve. So yeah, it was really mainly just the resources and the fact that the sense of community was more there, I'd say, like 2 years ago when I got into speedrunning, way more than it was, I don't know, 2012
or something,
10, 11, 12 when I first saw it. So yeah, it was definitely to do with the community.
I would say I shared the same feeling too. I know exactly what you mean. Like when I first found out, which was in 2012. I think a lot of it had to do probably with two main things. The first one probably being is that speedrunning started growing way later than Smash. So Smash had that established community by 2012, right? And it was a lot easier to, again, with resources and stuff, a lot easier to get into. Speedrunning felt like it was almost like, oh, only these people can really do this. It's their thing. So I can't do that.
Yeah, it felt like some top secret like stuff.
Yeah, and it almost felt like it was an elitist community thing, but didn't mean for it to be that way. But it just felt like it was, and you didn't realize that, I could just play the game and speedrun. Like it's not a big deal.
Not a lot of people look at games like that, like a game that you just play over and over again. It's like you can get like a nonstop replayability to something like Smash, because you're never gonna play the same match twice. You know what I mean? Like everything is just so different. Whereas like speedrunning, you're like doing like what's objectively like the fastest thing, or like for whatever I guess. So that's why a lot of people didn't imagine themselves maybe doing that. They're like, oh, like I know I could be doing this thing, but like again, they just didn't know how to approach it. So they just needed more people to like show that off and understand like how exactly the whole circus works, and more people are in there.
Yeah, well, perfect. And that pretty much closes this interview. Thank you so much, Nicro, for being here. I'm like a huge fan of you. and I'm gonna see you
Me too.
I
very
appreciate
soon.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be fun.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Keep it rocking,
And
man.
yep.
Love ya.
Aki climbing the fence there. Guy and I struggling on Alice.
Aki is dumbfounded by what just happened. Oh my lord.
This is so close. No mistakes from anyone so far. Going pretty much tight into lap 2. Actually, Giz was actually ahead, I think.
Yeah. Giz is definitely taking the lead. Oh my goodness, that's so close.
Really gonna come down to a slight tie, and by the way, we're slightly pulling it. Another one, and the Bio takes it by point 2.
Oh, the Bios win!
I can't believe it, he actually took this one as well.
Prestige getting into these are two big screens as we see him go for this sounding under the terrain strat as what? Wow.
Whether or not this gets the power, the race world record that this is gonna be, like.
The race world record is free, but he's coming in at the final cube right here, slicing it up, and I cannot quite tell yet what this is gonna be. Cube is gonna break right about now. He's gonna have to capture this, and this is close. This is close. He might have just barely missed it. He might have just barely missed the record, but this is at least pretty much guaranteed a sub-hour. Oh,
okay.
77 curves with the third sub-hour in the world, slightly missing the record. Amazing stuff. So that pillar room slightly killed it.
Still getting a sub-hour. That is first sub-hour for Curb, so.
Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the highlight package. As you guys could see, like the most insane thing that I would have ever imagined, a sub 1 and PB in a GSA race, and not only a normal race, a top 4 playoff match. You can't be more like put on the spot in that, and then Lil Curbs pulls it off with a PB and a sub 1. It's just insane. I can't wait to see what happens at pace. But anyway, yeah.
If that could be replicated, that would be extremely hype, my friend. So hopefully that can happen.
to say the least. All right, guys. So now we're gonna go to a little fun segment. I love doing this. It's called This or That, where me and ALT go back and forth on asking each other questions, either this or that, and we get each other's opinions on it. It could be anything, any random topics in speedrunning. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna dive into it if you would allow me first.
Please go.
I have okay. Things that are coming up and things that just came out as well. SM64 randomizer. We talked about this earlier in the show as well. It's very new and very hot as well. Mario Maker 2 is coming out in, I think, June of this year. That is obviously going to be big.
Hot.
So my question to you is, my first this or that. Would you rather see a Mario Maker 2 tournament or a Super Mario 64 randomizer tournament at GSA this summer?
For me, randomizer, easy for me. Mario Maker,
really?
Yeah, because Mario Maker 2 is cool, but it's kind of... Mario Maker's kind of Mario Maker, right? I kind of got tired of that. I know they're extremely popular for viewers, right? So if you're going for viewers, you might not want to do that. You might want to do Mario Maker, because those videos that... What are those guys? The big guys. Pangea.
There's so much of them.
There's
yeah.
so many of them.
Pooh
Bear makes good ones. They go crazy views. So if you're going for views, maybe you want to go that way. If you're going for entertainment, for speedrun fans, I would say randomizer for sure. But that's me. What about you?
Interesting. I thought you would say Mario Maker, but that's my opinion. Both. I'd love to see both. Maybe it's possible. Who knows? Maybe GSA is like, yeah, screw it. Let's have both on. But
it feels like that you'd be a lot of entrants. A lot of people would play there, right? Because Mario Maker is something everyone could play that, right? You think it's not about being the fastest with the hottest strats either. It's like it's way more random stuff going on. So yeah, it seems like that would be a good opportunity. But all right, my turn. This is that same vein. Randomizers, a small theme of the show, it seems. So here we go. Randomizers, right? Are they good for speedrunning? Yes or no, but a little caveat there. As in, times getting as low as they can, right? Do they distract people more than they distract people from trying to make the times better? If they weren't there, people would just be grinding, right? But now that there's randomizers, they can go chase that. So is it a good or bad thing for speedrunning overall, you think?
Wow. I mean, okay. I think it's a great thing for speedrunning for obvious reasons, in a sense of randomizers obviously brought an insane amount of just new viewers into speedrunning and new people in speedrunning that otherwise did not know about speedrunning before, or maybe they did. But at least viewership on videos, viewership on live streams, viewerships on organizations like Speed Gaming have increased significantly since randomizers have really been established. So obviously it's doing good in the speedrunning community there, right?
Yeah.
And I think it also does really good. I think the best part of randomizer is, I talked about this before in my stream, about it's obviously, I guess you could say, an excuse, or it's always it's a reason to play the game that you always like to play, and you wish you could always keep playing. That it's a new experience every time, depending on what you define, what you think new means, or whatever your version of new is. But you know what I mean, right? Yeah. And randomizer is different every time. It's randomized, so like that's also great. So these people who like watch OT all the time, and it's like, I love the game and stuff, but yeah, I played the game, I've beaten it 50 times, I don't really want to do it again. But randomizer's out, it's more the reason to always play the game, and you get a different experience every time you play it, possibly. And then of course there's racing and that stuff, and that all complements each other.
Yeah.
Bad thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the bad thing, of course, is what you mentioned, and I think you've seen it. And some streamers probably, where they love randomizer so much they get ingrained into the randomizer scene that it's like, this is more relaxing and less stressful than grinding for PBs, so I think I'm gonna do this for like this whole year. Just forget about grinding PBs, But there's no saying that that's what they really think about, but it probably potentially has happened. I personally have noticed a few OT 100% runners like Marco and stuff that I don't know if it's because of randomizer, but they do mostly only randomizers right now, and he was like getting really close to being ZFG, for example. Who knows? It could be randomizer's fault, but it probably is a good point. It probably can, if it's so good, it could, deter people away from grinding for PBs, and it might stunt the leaderboard growth, if you may, or progression.
Yeah, I think you said it right. I think the only, like, in terms of viewership, I think it's incredible. Like the biggest problem with speedrunning, my next episode on podcast is going to be about this. The biggest problem with speedrunning, competitive speedrunning, is there's not enough to talk about for the commentators all the time, right? It's like watching two sprinters run around a track, basically, right? You can't really commentate much on that. Yeah, that guy's going faster than this guy. Oh, that guy tripped a little bit, but he's still going. That guy hit a rock, but he's still going. There's not much to say. Randomizer makes that, and if you want an example, any other esports game, watch the depth of commentary that they have. It's incredibly different, right? Listen for a minute of even if you don't like it, Overwatch or League of Legends or all these. Listen for a minute. There's so much stuff you can talk about. Future things they have to do, past decisions they made. In speedrunning,
character profiling, I think it's like a really big thing in esports. It's all about talking about the character. Player, sorry.
Like, so Punkay and Cheese, you guys play, even though you guys play
the rivalry and stuff.
Yeah. Like, okay, let's pick Punkay. Punkay and Cheese, if you play optimally, you play the exact same way, right? I mean, to get a world record, you guys basically have to play the exact same way. It's optimized run, right? If you add randomizer, though, that's out the window. Now you really have to think about this stuff. Future choices, past choices, things like that. That's how you go. It's huge for competitive speedrunning for sure. That's why I wanted to get bigger, actually. The bad point is not for viewers, but for streamers like you. So if you have your income is decided by your stream is your income, basically. If you do randomizer too much, it becomes, hey, Cheese is just casually playing a game for his own fun, which is okay. You want to have some fun in your stream too. But if you do it too much, people are going to go away, right? They want you to do, for better or for worse, speedrunning. If you get famous for one game, if you don't do that game for too long, most people can't survive that. Some people can. Some people go to variety streaming and get even bigger, but that's a big choice for the streamer side of things. So for speedrunning fans and viewers, like myself, I think it's awesome. For streamers, you got to be careful. You can't overdo it, I don't think, unless you want to make that full jump to variety. You know what I mean? So, and that's a big jump if you ever want to do that. But that's
it's not only randomizer too. When it comes to streaming, it's like I personally, I know other streamers do this as well. Almost every day we're thinking, okay, am I doing the right thing? Should I think about playing this game? Should I mix it up? So like randomizer is just something that adds onto it. It's streaming. It's you're always thinking about what game you should be streaming, what do you think you should do next, and stuff like that. But at least what is also good to add on top of that is that even if you're playing randomizer, it's still the same game that originally gave you that fame, right?
True.
So you're still able to play that game, which is, I think, probably a lot of reason why streamers spend a lot of time in randomizer, because they're still able to play that game that people know them for.
Yeah, it's good. It's at least linked to something. It's not like you're playing SimCity on the SNES. It's like you're playing something that is close to what you're doing. But it's an interesting topic. We talked a lot about randomizer this episode, but that's cool. All right, you have the next one if you have one. You got another one or no?
Okay, so this one is more about talking about players for a bit.
Okay.
What I have written down here. Would you rather see a new player break a long-time world record? Okay, which is always exciting. Or would you rather see a huge game-breaking glitch to be found on a game that's like really optimized?
That's good. Oh, a game that's not really optimized?
For example, would you rather see Nero come back to Mario 64 or Siglamic and break the world record, or would you rather see like some huge like carpetless in 120 star that saves like a minute or something?
Okay, so you changed it a little bit. So optimized game still, I think it's a big difference, right? A glitch in optimized game is hype. A glitch in some other game is not hype, right? So that's
a newer game, yeah.
Okay. That's a good question. That's a good question.
But that it also connects with like world records. And a world record in an optimized game when it's broken is more hype than a world record when it's not optimized and it's broken. So
extremely. That's why I think those like in GDQ. That's a world record in GDQ, but you're playing some game that has one runner. It's like, all right, guys, it was a world record, but come on now, it's like that, But anyways, it's still hype. But well, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say Siglemic getting a world record, because that would have to change my bands after that. But let's pretend you didn't say that. A world record of a hype game, or one of the top, let's say top 20, 25 games in speedrunning. I think that's cooler for me, because that's kind of the thing that lives forever, at least for a moment. The world record, you got the world record. It's really hype for a while. You never know how long it's gonna last and stuff. For me, that's cooler. But yeah, when you see awesome glitch happen live, I've only had that happen once, and it was awesome. So it was like, wow,
I'm interested. Which glitch was it?
It was a long time ago, and I'm gonna try to remember exactly what it was. It was in Zelda 2, and it was Feasel.
Okay.
And he was doing something, and I can't even remember exactly what it was, but it was awesome. And I think it was like a way to get the P-bag definitely drop or something. Like he discovered that you could make that first P-bag drop if you something, right? It was many years ago
manipulation.
It's something like that, yeah. Okay. It was just like, it wasn't even a glitch. It was like, we can make this P-bag always drop or something. It's like, wow, that was so cool to see that. And they still do it in the run now. That was kind of cool. But I think world record for me is personally more hype, right? What about you?
So as a person who has experience getting world records,
oh god,
I'm just saying, the proof is in the whatever you call it. Okay, but damn, I didn't actually think about what I would choose here. I thought about the question, but I didn't think about my own response. Yeah. But I would probably have to side with you. It's like, yeah, because when a glitch is found, right, a big, huge game-breaking glitch or whatever, it's like, okay, the glitch is found, but now we want to see somebody get a new world record with it.
Yeah.
So it's like when that world record happens, it could be that kind of like, like the finalized hype moment.
Yeah. And also sometimes you do it, it's like, well, we can't use this. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes glitches can't use them in the runs. It's like, all right, well, that's cool, but
happens a lot actually.
Yeah, so. All right, but let me take the last this or that is from me. This is from you, talking to you, the pro streamer. He's got many world records in his name. You got one less recently, but it's okay. If you're starting streaming now, 2019, you're starting streaming right now. What do you think is a better avenue now? Because when you started, it's a way different world. 2019 is way different than when you started. But would you think it's better to get extremely good at a hype game? So, a hype game meaning the games people care about the most. Or do you think it's better to do other content and then jump into streaming from that? So make awesome YouTube videos and then start streaming. Make awesome podcasts and then start streaming. Or do you think the avenue of just being as awesome as you can in the game, get a world record, people are going to check you out? What do you think is the better avenue for if you want to start a streaming career?
Well, I will say off the bat that if you are making YouTube videos for a while and you have a good following, it obviously will help you on your Twitch jump. But like, if you're starting YouTube from scratch at the same time you would start Twitch from scratch, it's like, what would make you have a more established following quicker, the YouTube videos or Twitch? Depends on how you do both of them. But if your goal is to become a Twitch streamer, then I would have to say,
don't try.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a Twitch streamer, don't. I would have to say start from Twitch. Just start scratch from Twitch, because if you're gonna start from YouTube first, that would take a lot of time anyway to start off. And even if you have a decent following on YouTube, if you start streaming on Twitch, it still will be it won't be like 1,000 viewers on your first stream. It's still gonna be a long time for people to get used to knowing and realizing that you're streaming on Twitch. It's possible that a lot of your YouTube viewers don't even know about Twitch because people just know about YouTube, right? It's a pretty common thing. And that's like, for example, like when I changed my name to Cheese from Cheese05 on Twitch, which a lot of people still don't know. After 6 months, a lot of people it's kind of like the same thing. When there's a YouTuber who streams and they had no idea for like 6 months, and it takes, I would have to say start on Twitch right away.
But yeah, I think you say that. I think that's the answer most streamers will give. Full-time streamers give.
Both. You could do both too.
You could do both too. Yeah, that's true. But there are so many people out there that have 0 viewers right now. Thousands that have 0 viewers, and most of them probably suck on streaming. But they're still good with that 0. Like I think it's such a slog on Twitch. I've never tried. I mean, I have 0 experience in this, but it seems like it's a really, really hard job to get a lot of viewers on Twitch. I think it's harder than getting YouTube viewers personally, but that's again just from viewing from an outside perspective. But I guess you're right though. If you want to be famous on Twitch, you got to get on Twitch, right? But it's it seems like a tough grind right now, and when you started, it was still hard for sure, but it wasn't as much as it is now. Now it's really tough. And like our guest, NicroVeda today, he was one of these rare people that used the game. That's why I asked this question, by the way. He used his skill at Odyssey to jump in a year, which is unheard of now, That's so rare. So
that's, I would add to that quick too. It's like, if you're going to start streaming and you're going to play Fortnite, I think it's almost like
definitely quit.
Yeah, it's almost like making it automatically a lot harder, right? Because Fortnite is huge, and there are thousands of streamers all the time, and the likelihood that you're gonna get a lot of viewers when you start streaming Fortnite in the beginning is extremely small. So like speedrunning could be something else. Some people say speedrunning streaming is easier to get into because if you speedrun a pretty popular game and you're really good at it, there's a very high chance you will get viewers. And I would agree with them. I would agree. And it probably helped people like me and Nicro and stuff, because when you take a popular game, and Mario in general is popular, right?
Yeah.
And you get really good at it really fast, so you have world records, it's like people are going to see you immediately, right? And the speedrunning community watch other speedrunners, and they're going to watch you and realize, and then tell their friend, this guy's really good at Odyssey, this guy's getting really good. And then they would watch you, and then they would tell their friends. Whereas other really big games communities, it's so much harder, I think.
I mean, in other games, it's all about, to get in the beginning especially, it's just all about your skill level. So like if you're incredible at Smash, people will watch you play Smash. If you're incredible at speedrunning, people watch you play speedrun. People watch you speedrun. But if you're doing Fortnite, you have to be incredible at that too, and the skill level in Fortnite is insane.
But
right?
not only the skill level, the amount of people that are good already.
So you're that's why it's just extremely hard to be the skills you need is a mental task in any game, unless you choose some game no one plays, of course. But we talked about that long enough. So if you want to be a streamer, Cheese's advice is don't do it. Remember that. That's what we're going to take for you. So there you go, guys. All right, but the last segment of this show is something we like to call James' Crazy Idea. ALT's Crazy Idea. I got to use my own name here. ALT's Crazy Idea. And this time it's got a little bit of a, not crazy idea so much is a hot take. Okay, so this is an extremely medium heat take here, but and it's going to be unpopular for sure because I'm going to say, but okay, everyone knows Summoning Salt's videos. Everyone in the world knows Summoning Salt videos. In the speedrunning world, you've seen them all.
Sure.
If you haven't watched them all, go watch them all. They're all worth watching. Also, other people are making videos. RY Goose makes our speedrunning videos. Carl Jobs making speedrun videos these days. Apollo Legend makes speedrun videos these days. A lot of people are making speedrun videos these days. You know, it's kind of it's kind of becoming a more thing to do. A lot of people are making these highlight videos now, just like you are too, Cheese.
Yep.
People are doing these highlights of the last week's streams highlights and stuff. My thinking here is, so Summoning Salt is the best script writer in speedrunning, I think. The best scripts I think he has. He creates a story, and you ride along with that story.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you can feel the battle that these speedrunners go through, the times, how they go down. It's really awesome, right? So his strength is writing. I would say, chat's going to freak out when I say this. His strength, his editing is not his strength, you know? So, and maybe Apollo Legend, I agree with him too. Editing is not his strength. Or White Goose, editing is not his strength. I think it would be cool, and with the views these guys get, I don't think it's to be out of question of doability for these guys to pay someone to edit their videos. And again, this is coming from, especially in the case of Summoning Salt. His videos get millions of views anyway. He's probably saying, "What the fuck? What are you talking about, person? Why are you telling me to change anything?" But I think if he did pay someone to do the editing. Summoning Salt, if you listen to this, I love your videos, of course, but I think it would be even huger if you had professional editing, and the money's make enough that it seems like it would be just a small percentage of the income you make, even though I know YouTube income is going down and stuff, but I think that would be pretty cool. I want to see that. I want to see the level of quality of YouTube videos of speedrunning go up. And if the people that are making the videos don't have the editing skills to do that, they can either get better at editing or pay someone. And some of these people seem like they have enough views to go the pay option. But that's my hot take. What do you think, Cheese, about that?
I mean, yes, I would follow around the same path, right? And it's funny to think about right off the bat that at least my highlight videos, and I know all these other big speedrun streamers that do highlight videos, we're paying editors. Editors do it, right? They do it for us, and it's funny to think that it's possibly that all these other big YouTubers or bigger YouTubers and the videos that get the most views by far potentially aren't paying editors. It's kind of weird to think about, right? So like, yeah, I agree with you completely. There are a few YouTubers. I know there's like Nathaniel Bandy. There are a few of them that do speedrunning stuff. And their editing skills are really good. But it's funny to think that the most popular videos, kind of like by a landslide, are the ones that don't have this professional kind of like editing, right? They're the ones that have the better story.
Yeah.
So it's funny to think about that, right? So it's possible that they might know this as well, that the speedrun audience in YouTube are only interested in the story. They don't really care about the fancy editing. So they might be doing it on purpose. Who knows? Maybe they're like, oh, wait, obviously don't need to get editing. The story is giving me the views, so let's continue with the storytelling instead of the fancy editing.
You could say that. You could also say, though, that it's
possible.
At the infancy, right? I think the speedrunning content is at the infancy. I think we can push it to crazy heights if we do that, right? Because those guys that have, that are at the top of the mountain now, they shouldn't just say, well, I'm at the top and I'm fine where I am. You got to keep, that's the time to push harder on the pedal to get to the, top of gaming. Like, I know when Summoning Salt has a good video, a hot video for him, it goes on top of like Reddit's on Reddit, gaming Reddit, it comes on there and stuff. It gets pretty big, but I just can't imagine to see what a professionally edited Summoning Salt video would be like. A professionally edited Apollo video would be like, even though, he has more controversial topics, it would still be awesome to see that. And before we end on this, I want to give a shout out to one person that has a video that I do think was professionally edited. And Cheese, can you talk for a second while I find it? Talk about something exciting, please.
Well, before you say it, I'm guessing you're gonna call Bismuth's name. Would it be Bismuth?
Let's see. Could be it.
Because I know Bismuth has had. I think he did Super Mario Bros. Something with Super Mario Bros.
Got it. Okay.
Oh my god!
It was. No, here it is. It was. No, where is it?
Because I know Bismuth is also doing amazing content on YouTube, and his videos got lots and lots of attention as well.
Oh, okay, found it. It was not Bismuth, but I do agree. Bismuth videos are awesome. By the way, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about there. This is by a guy known as Zaz Wallery.
Zaz Wallery.
It's called The Human Element Part 1, Messages on Walls. It was about a Link to the Past community. and it was the most beautifully edited video in speedrunning I've ever seen. It had much less views than it should have. Actually, I just clicked the link now, and the video is taken down. So I do not know if that is copyright thing, he just took it down thing, but it is not here anymore. So sorry, you can't view the video I'm talking about unless there's some other way to watch it. But anyways, let's not go too off topic. But I think speedrunning videos on YouTube could be even better than they are. The better ones could be. That's basically it, guys. But
I don't doubt it.
That is unless you have another one, Simply. I mean, Simply. I'm looking at Simply's picture on my thing. Unless you have another one, Cheese. Do you have another this or that? Are you good to go? Oh, we already finished this. This is a crazy idea. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to the shout-outs. You handle it. I'm done talking for a while. You handle the shout-outs.
My shout-outs? Well, of course, Mr. NicroVeda. Thank you for being on the show. Can't wait to see him perform in Top 4. Shout-outs to everyone who's made Top 4 in Celeste, Odyssey, Super Mario 64 community. And shout-outs to Orca and Figure 8 that we mentioned early in the show. Can't wait to see them at PACE. And hopefully have them on the show after, so we can talk about their experiences. Shout outs to Grand Pooh Bear and those guys for their sessions.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Shout outs for me are
anyone else?
Shout outs to the GSA Twitter that I'm taking over, because you can see my daily countdown tweets about PACE. So enjoy those. If you're not following GSA on Twitter, do that. Global Speedrun Association. What's the Twitter name?
Global Speedrun.
Yeah, at Global Speedrun. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
At Global Speedrun. Go follow them if you're not following it, because you can see every day I put a little countdown thing in there. So go check that out. But yep, Cheese, another great episode. Episode 4 in the books. Episode 5 will be coming out in a little less time than it usually takes, right? Because this one came out a little bit late. But next week will be our last episode before the live event PACE happens. So get hyped for that. Final words, Cheese, it's all to you.
We love you, and thanks for watching.